they gave a little bit of an origin story about him. Kind of sounds like Rick in the Council of Ricks. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've long since established that the writer for Rick and Morty is a big comic book fan.
I just have to bring it up every time.
He has a lot. Yeah, no, he's drawing a lot from Kang's source material.
Loki, episode 6, season finale. We picked it up where we left off with episode 5, with them going to the end of the void. And so now they're going past it to find out who's behind the TVA. Thoughts so far? We
jumped right into it, man. They gave us the guy pretty early. He Who Remains. There it is. Yeah. They gave us, pretty early. I know that was a floating theory out there. I think E-Man called that one pretty early about it being a Kang variant. I had kind of moved off of that just because they were throwing a lot of hints that it was going to be a Loki variant. It still is some things that aren't really explained or fleshed out as to why they happened in this episode, I feel like. So, like, it ended up being Jonathan Majors, right? And remember that they were specifically brought in front of the timekeepers to be pruned. So, like, that's what had me thinking, like, okay, well, this is a Loki variant, right? Because he's bringing the other Lokis that were able to escape the TVA or escape his grasp, and he's trying to see what's so special about him. But, like, that obviously is out of the window, so I don't really know what that was about. Renslayer is like a TVA nationalist in his stomach.
She still doesn't really know what's going on, but she's staying.
But she's so loyal. I'm like, man, okay.
She's a puppet.
Like, I know if my boss ended up being a robot, I'd probably just clock out. You know what I mean? On my way.
Or clock her out.
Yeah, she's oddly committed to this ruse. I don't know what's going to happen with her in season 2. B-15 is out here liberating, being a revolutionary after she got out of jail. B-15X, you know what I'm saying?
So Renslayer used to be a teacher in Fremont, Ohio back in 2018.
Man, and I swear to God, man, they can find some old random places to say that they were at.
Cities of all cities.
They did Cleveland before. They did Fremont, Ohio. Like, it's people in Ohio that don't know where Fremont, Ohio is. You know what I'm saying? But she's out here liberating the TVA agents and letting them know, hey, look, man, everybody's variants. All of this shit is bullshit. Let's mob.
Right. Miss Minutes finally explains a little bit of her role, a tiny bit in there.
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect to see her again, so that was weird. You see that she dropped back off some information to Renslayer. I think that has to do with whatever she went in that portal when she got off of Mobius. Very easily, by the way. Like disarmed the hell out of Mobius very easy. It has me wondering why they had that man in charge of Loki this whole time. Because he can't defend himself against Renslayer. So
she dropped that nigga so fast. Right. Yell.
Look, bro, even with that little stick, you not no match. You like, oh, for real? Oh my God.
Who's fighting still worse? Hunter B-15 in front of the Time Slayer or Mobius with Renslayer?
Nah, Mobius, dog. He got flipped within seconds when he tried to reach.
At least, a B-15 got a shot in, or she at least threw a punch.
Yeah.
Mobius, that he went outside. He went out real sad.
He sat there and thought about it like, damn, I guess I can't defend myself.
Right. You was right.
I guess I am pussy.
All right, so we finally meet Kang the Conqueror.
That's the variant.
Sorry. Yeah, this is the specific Kang variant who's not the Conqueror. Sorry.
Just like Loki had all them doubles and he had all them versions. That's what bro was for Kang. Remember when he was sitting down at the table, he was like, yes, some people call me a jerk. Some people call me a conqueror.
A ruler. A conqueror. He who remains. A jerk.
that was his variant, Kang. And then I think at the towards the end, when Loki is running out of the TVA holding cell, whatever, he's passing everybody, right? He gets to B-15 and Mobius, and they don't know who the hell he is. They think he's an analyst that done lost his mind.
That's what I was about to say. That's what like messed me up. Did he go back or did he go forward? Like what happened
No,
with that?
he went to a different timeline.
Yeah, Sylvie sent him to one of those branch timelines that broke off. If y'all notice, when he went back through the middle of the office, right? He passed the timeline reader, and it was a clock. It was like a sundial. They went to an entire different timeline. Yeah, it wasn't the digital readout that we've been seeing, that we even saw in the scene before. Yeah, it was different. It was like a clock. So I think he ended up going to a different reality where the actual leader behind the TVA, which is the Kang variant, is out in the open about it. He ain't lying to people.
Right. That's why he is the statue.
That's Kang. Yeah, for sure. That's the Kang.
Fam, I was so lost. Like, what the hell is going on right now? I'm like, nah, dog, run that back real quick. What did I miss?
He was like, wait, when did you forget Loki? Yeah.
I'm like, you was just looking for this man. Like, what's up with you?
So basically, this new variant of Kang gave both Loki and Sylvie the option to either kill him or take over as the sole owner, basically, of the timeline. And so Loki kind of wants to hear him out, kind of wants to believe him. And Sylvie wants to kill him right then and there after all the shit she's been through.
I think they were fleshing out that even though Sylvie and Loki been, riding together through the series, trying to get to whoever was behind the TVA, it was for different motivations at the end of the day. Not to say that Loki set out to, that he wanted to be ruler of the TVA the entire time, but Sylvie's motivation for finding out who was behind it all was not necessarily to liberate all the TVA agents. It wasn't to take down TVA. It was to kill the person who took her life away. That was her mission from jump. It didn't have anything to do with anything else. So where our timeline Loki, they gave their numbers. They gave their universe numbers when he handed them the transcripts. So I think Loki is Loki 1190 and Sylvie is Loki 1130. They had it on the little transcripts or whatever. But our Loki is trying to hear him out. And he's trying to think it through like, okay, this is that multiversal war that they were talking about in the beginning of the series. Like, this could destroy the universe. Let's talk about it. Let's hold on. And she's like, yo, if you don't move, I'm gonna move you.
Yeah, so, she wanted all smoke.
Yeah, it just showed that, like, even though they had taken this journey together and they were seemingly on the same page and had like interest, when it came down to it, their motivations is what separated, right? They even said it like, why can't we agree on this? He's like, man, you can't trust and I can't be trusted. So that's a terrible mix. I didn't think that it was going to get to the point where like they were fighting each other. That caught me a little off guard just because I feel like Loki wasn't saying anything to you that was like, yeah, no, I really want the throne. It was like, no, like we may break some shit. We may destroy all of reality. And she just wasn't reasoning at all.
She wasn't trying to hear none of that.
None.
She was like, nah.
She didn't reason, like not even for a second. She's like, nope, it's a lie. He dies.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. Very irrational.
Speaking of them having like interests, obviously, finally they share a kiss, which is still fucking weird because they are one and the same.
Each other.
They are the same.
It was a setup. Yeah, we're gonna have to let that go because they're clearly going this route of making them lovers. So we just gonna have to cringe and bear it, I guess. But
he is him and he is her.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said when I saw it. I'm like,
it's different.
He's doing himself.
They know it's weird too because they keep having people like make it blatantly obvious that it's weird. Like Mobius said something about it. Jonathan Majors, the variant, says something about it. He's like, yeah, man, it's different, it's weird, but I like it,
I think it's weird that Kang, Jonathan Majors, was just sitting there the entire time that this is happening, knowing that he's not going to know what's happening in the future now. He's just sitting there enjoying everything. It's
Eating
kinda
his
weird.
apple, just thrilled.
Yeah,
He's
just sitting there.
probably eons old. We have no idea exactly how old he is. He's the guy who started all of this timeline. So he's ancient, and he told you he was ready to go.
He hit you with the black don't crack line.
This a young, this is a young man's game, and I don't have it in me no more. So y'all can take over it, just off me and put me out my misery type shit.
Yeah, smoke me so I can keep it pushing, dog, to the next level.
Believe it or not, this happens with a lot of comic book characters where they have like multiple versions of people. Like most notably, like in the current comic book run, they got Betsy Braddock, which she is currently the Captain Britain that's running right now, has the same kind of ideas. Like there's a council of Captain Britons from all different universes, right? And she ends up, using those variants, I guess, for lack of a better term, to like fight a war in the current X-Men comics, Excalibur. But I think that there's going to be a lot more fleshed out in either. It's going to have to be Quantum. It's going to have to be Quantumania, the Ant-Man movie.
The Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, because as I don't see him, since we already know it's going to be a season 2 of Loki, he's going to stretch beyond Quantumania. So thank God Marvel doesn't kill another bad guy. But so he's going to survive past that movie, I believe, or at least to it. That movie comes out in 2023. So we got some years of Kane coming up. But they're going to use the series, I think, to flesh out the Kang variants. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him pop up as a variant in different Disney Plus shows.
That actually raises my next question. So in the Black Panther video that we just did, you said that obviously Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness are probably the most anticipated films of 2022. So how does the events that happened in WandaVision and this show now, how do you think is going to lead into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
That's a good question. And I feel like that's where this series, and maybe even WandaVision to a certain degree, dropped the ball. Because it's like, all right, you can tell us that these movies, or excuse me, the TV shows are not necessarily, they're canon, but they're not required material for the movies. You could say that, but then you're literally introducing the concept that one of your blockbusters is based on in these TV shows. So the connective tissue is still there, right? And so to not draw a direct line or a build up to that film, I feel like is a missed opportunity. Like it's almost like you're doing that so that you can include the biggest audience possible, but then the story suffers, right? So it's kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face. It would have made all the sense in the world if they would have just left the after credit scene for the end of WandaVision as Doctor Strange popping up. It would have made all the sense in the world. It would have created some sort of connective tissue to Multiverse of Madness. Now you're going to have to tell that story from the end of WandaVision and then get on to telling your story for the movie, right? You're going to have to connect. You're going to have to bridge the gap somehow and tell us what the hell Wanda's been up to, or why Doctor Strange didn't show up to Westview. Same thing.
And the
with
people
Loki,
who already seen it won't want to watch it again.
It's not like they, they're going to miss it. They can always go back. I'm just saying the story suffers, right? Like if there was one thing that was lacking out of this, and I know it wasn't set out to do it, but even in the instances where you would find it necessary, it didn't draw a direct line. Like them introducing the Kang variant does do a ramp up for Quantumania, absolutely. But you would think that this whole thing happening with Wanda would have led into somehow Doctor Strange, unless they're just going to pick it up right there at the end of WandaVision. But no, I mean, all in all, Loki is probably my second favorite so far. I'm still on WandaVision. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was okay, but I think Loki was a little better. The only thing that I feel like they're suffering from on these shows a little bit is the dialogue, the exposition, man. It gets very heavy. It does. It almost feels like you're filling in spots of the story where you don't have anything else to do. Like the whole fight with Loki, just between the Lokis kind of felt like a conversation, a very long, drawn out conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. It's been hit or miss. I feel like they came out with a theme with these first 3 shows. It was all about redemption and grief and just personal stuff, right? Personal digging on a lot of these characters. But at some point, that kind of wears thin, you know. Even if you're doing it with new characters, like every show doesn't have to have that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically taking a maybe 2-3 hour movie and you're stretching it out to now 6 hours or 1 hour block, 6 episodes. So it's,
and which
at some point
that they get better as it goes on after more and more of these shows go on and they see the audience response, right? But yeah, Loki season 2 should be interesting. It should be very interesting with them being in what we think is a branch timeline with the real Kang. We haven't seen them commit to having a big time villain in a television show, and the way it sets up now, that's what they'll be doing in season 2 of Loki. So
okay, I believe the next show that's coming out on Disney Plus from Marvel is What If.
What If? Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that?
That'll probably be one of those that I catch and just binge. Like I gotta watch all of Bad Batch. I only watched like the first 2 episodes of that, the Star Wars animated series. So I don't know if I'll follow it week to week the same way I've been doing the live action stuff. We'll probably pick back up with Miss Marvel or She-Hulk or something like that. But I'll definitely watch. That's going to be Chadwick Boseman's last performance in the MCU as T'Challa. T'Challa being Star-Lord, essentially, getting picked up by Wandu and the Ravagers. So yeah, I mean, I'll definitely see that one for sure. If I don't see any other episode, I'll see that one.
Bet. Any other thoughts on Loki episode 6, the season finale?
I'll give it 1 thumbs up. It was satisfactory. It answered at least one of the main questions. It didn't tell us what the hell's going to happen with Sylvie or what's going to happen with Loki. But it did give us who was the man behind the curtain. They didn't do the whole Wizard of Oz thing like it was it was a Loki variant all along, and it was just smoke with the whole Kang thing. So
They kind of did a Willy Wonka type thing. It wasn't Wizard of Oz. It was kind of Willy Wonka.
More Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, there you go.
I read that in a little review. It said that and made those references.
It was more Willy Wonka than it was
Wizard of Oz. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, no, so I think that's dope. I'm excited to see Kang fleshed out in season 2, and we'll just see how these Disney Plus shows develop going forward.
Hey! Where y'all going? Where y'all going?
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this, go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.